Welcome into Sportsmemo's betting podcast for April 4th. Happy Thursday out there. We got Teddy Covers on board, and we're talking the MLB slate with him. Also some NBA after the MLB. And Teddy, welcome into the podcast. How are you?
Hey, you know me, I'm pissed off, dude. You know, I lost last night. I'm mad at myself for passing on Tuesday and then playing last night, and I lost last night, and I would have won on Tuesday if I released. And it doesn't matter how good I'm running. You know how it is, Drew. I'm always pissed off. I always want to win more. And, you know, I guess that's a good thing. It means I'm hungry. But, yeah, I'm pissed that I lost last night. How about you?
I'm doing all right, man. You know, hanging in there. Got college basketball. Looks like finishing the positive. Got 2 more plays remaining in the season, so locked and loaded. One Final Four, one on the NIT championship game tonight. So 2-0 would finish this season out nice for 3 straight college basketball profitable years, which I'm pretty proud of, you know. And but I'll tell you this, to throw something your way, tip my cap to you. You're coming up on 200 releases so far year to date, and you're at 57%. That's impressive. You know, that's not cherry picking numbers from January 1st till now. And just wanted to ask you, you know, 1, how does it feel? And 2, are you doing anything this year in particular to be seeing it that clearly and having this much success year to date?
Well, I appreciate the kudos. I mean, it has been a good start to 2019, but honestly, Drew, all that's a rearview mirror already. You know, at no point can you rest on your laurels and go, oh, well, I did this the last 3 months. These last 3 months are great. Now I can kick back and relax. It doesn't work that way. If you ask what have I done differently, I haven't done a whole lot differently. You know, my in-laws have been staying at our house, so I guess I've been spending a little bit more time up in the office than I might otherwise. But the reality is that, look, I know I've been doing this for 20 years. Full time here in Las Vegas, and at some point you use that experience in your favor. You know, I felt very frustrated with some of my results in 2018. I thought I should have had a better year than I did, and I kind of came into this year with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. So far, so good in that regard, but long way to go, man. Long way to go. We're only at the beginning of April, and it's not about what have I done. If you were riding me, great. I hope you I was able to put some money in your pockets, but it's not about what have I done. It's about what am I going to do, and the object is keep it going, moving forward. You know, close to 200 releases so far this season. It's been this year. It's been good, but it's not about what you've done. It's about what you're going to do. So the goal is to keep it rolling. Yeah,
absolutely, man. And I hope you do. You're doing well. Keep it going. 101 and 76. That's year to date. 57% on the year for 2019. And Teddy has 2 plays up right now. His first MLB release of 2019, which we're going to talk the night slate of MLB coming up right before we talk the NBA slate. And he's also got his 5% college basketball big ticket in the Auburn, Virginia game. Both of them up at sportsmemo.com. But Teddy, let's get into tonight's MLB slate. We got 6:10 Eastern, 3:10 Pacific first pitch. Toronto versus Cleveland in the American League. We got Sanchez versus Bauer. Bauer, heavy favorite here, minus 180, seeing as high as almost minus $2 with a total of 7 here. How would you look to bet the Blue Jays and Indians?
There's a lot not to like about Cleveland right now. And, you know, Trevor Bauer is a pitcher who is going to attract enormous support in the betting market, deservedly so. The guy's an ace. The guy puts together ridiculous numbers in the advanced metric stats. You know, base runners allowed, the strikeouts per 9 is just off the charts. So pretty much every start you see Trevor Bauer in, he's going to take wise guy money. He did all last year, and of course, you know, coming off a 7-inning 1-hit effort in the opener where he struck out 9, only walked a single batter. It's not like the markets are going to cool off on Trevor Bauer right now, but the Indians team behind him, I'm not exactly thrilled with in early season play. By any stretch of the imagination, Cleveland not hitting. I got all kinds of concerns about their defense, and they're not a team I'm excited about laying this type of price with by any stretch of the imagination right now, even with Bauer's extensive success and ridiculous type of numbers. Now, it's not like the Blue Jays are a team I'm all that excited about either. But this is, if I had to play the game, I would take the dog. This is not a favorite I'm comfortable laying this price with.
Yeah, I mean, not with a team that has things not to like, laying minus 190 is probably not a profitable tool going forward. But we got a next game up, Teddy, 7:05 Eastern, 4:05 Pacific. First pitch, Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh. We got Lyles on the hill for Pitt, minus 120 favorite with a 7.5 as the total, pretty much across the board.
Yeah, I mean, how do you lay any price with Pittsburgh right now? I mean, again, when you're talking about a situation with a team, an early season play, where a team is blowing games, where a team's bullpen can't get outs, where and it's not like the Pirates came into this season saying, oh, yeah, we're going to be great. They're like, all right, well, maybe we can do something. And again, last night, Pittsburgh's bullpen, just like they did the night before, comes in and immediately, bye-bye, Dion pitches a gem, the bullpen comes in and it's gone. And boom, then there's the game. And there's your there's your lead, there's extra innings, bang, bang. So no, I do not trust Pittsburgh right now. And again, when you have a bad bullpen, what am I looking for? What are my keys in MLB? I want hot lineups, I want bad bullpens. That's the two things that I'm trying to isolate right off the bat. Pittsburgh's got a bad bullpen right now. They're a team I'm either going to be betting against or playing over until proven otherwise.
And Teddy, I mean, when you bring up the bullpens, that's something I look at a lot, and I recommend everybody do. Is it something, Lyles has had his moments in the past. He's pitched well at times. Is this something where you would look Pittsburgh first five?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do a lot of first fives because I don't focus on the starting pitching. By mid-April, the starting pitching is priced correctly pretty much in every game. And the first few weeks of the season, I'm light. If I put out 5 plays over the next week, I'd be surprised. It's real light early on. As we get into mid-April and the teams get 10, 12 games under their belts, I'll be a little bit more aggressive, but not from the get-go. It definitely, when it comes to that early season prep, I'm not going to go nuts. I'm not going to try to put too much into it, and I'm really going to try to focus on the factors that work for me, which is looking for hot lineups and or cold lineups, and looking for good bullpens and or ineffective bullpens. And when I can isolate those fairly early in the season, as this is the lineup I want to be on, this is the lineup I want to be against right now, this is a bullpen that is struggling, this is a bullpen that you can count on to get outs. If you can establish those for a half a dozen teams each, man, there's money to be made. And Pittsburgh right now for me is very clear. Their bullpen's in shambles. Their bullpen is struggling. I cannot trust them on a full game price. If you're a 5-inning guy and you're a starting pitching guy, absolutely it makes sense to look at Pittsburgh in that role. But that's not my focus when it comes to MLB. I focus on the full games, and that has everything to do with the factors that I consider the strongest, which are the lineup and bullpen current form.
All right, Teddy, good stuff. And keep in mind, guys, Teddy has his first MLB release of 2019 up at sportsmemo.com on today's card. So next game up, Teddy, first, have you seen any of the games at SunTrust Park there in Atlanta?
Have I ever? Yes.
What about this year?
I have not. I did not watch yesterday's game, no.
It amazes me how great of an atmosphere they got there in Atlanta, and I've been there. I used to live in Atlanta. I mean, the restaurants and bars outside, that's a fun time. And in the stadium, man, it is just night and day from a couple years ago in Turner Field to what they've been able to do there in Atlanta. It is a, home field advantage. Not sure how much I factor it in as far as MLB goes, but I mean, as far as atmospheres, Atlanta's up there in terms of great atmospheres in MLB right now, Teddy.
I wouldn't argue with that at all. And frankly, consider the product that the Braves were putting on the field at Turner Field the last few years. You can understand why SunTrust has been a much more exciting venue. And it's always good to see it, like when a team comes together as a new stadium is coming into place, and now there's excitement and enthusiasm that's legitimate. It's kind of fun to see as a fan. The question is for the Cubs, what we're seeing early on, if that's going to continue to be an issue. Chicago yesterday with a comfortable lead in the late stages, and lo and behold, there's a bullpen meltdown. Some of that has to do with Atlanta's success. I'll tell you this, Darvish coming off a pretty rocky outing in his opener, 7 walks in 2 2/3. Didn't make it out of the third inning, and it wasn't like they hit him. His command was off. They spotted him a 3-run lead. He let it get away. That's definitely a concern for the Cubs right now. Your bullpen's not getting outs, and the lineup. We know the Cubs are going to hit. It's not one of these deals that, it's going to happen forever. Chris Bryant's struggling. He went 0 for 5 again yesterday. Javier Baez is 0 for 5 yesterday. We know this Cubs team is going to hit. And certainly we're talking about Fried for Atlanta. He's not their ace. We'll just put it that way. So if the Cubs lineup gets going today, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this be a relatively high-scoring affair. Of course, total sitting already at 9. The early money's coming on the under. Not my money. I'll just put it that way. I have a play on the side for this contest. You can get that right now at sportsmemo.com.
Yeah, good breakdown there, Teddy. I thought this was a tricky price for the odds makers, and obviously they sided with Atlanta being the slight favorite here. But it will be a fun one to watch tonight. That is a 7:20 first pitch Eastern time, and that is the MLB Network feature game of the night, so you will be able to watch that on MLB Network. Cubs and Atlanta. Teddy's got a play on it. It is his first MLB release at sportsmemo.com with the podcast coupon TEDDYHALF. You can get it for half off right now at sportsmemo.com. Coupon code TEDDYHALF for half off of his first MLB release tonight. We got the late night game, Teddy, 10:07 Eastern, 7:07 Pacific time. Texas, LA Angels. Looks like a total of 8.5. We got Volquez. We got Matt Harvey on the hill with Harvey and the Angels minus 135 favorites at home.
Well, what I talk about. I'm very interested in lineups and bullpens. What's the Angels lineup done this season? Absolutely nothing. They scored 6 runs in Harvey's first start and got the win in Oakland. In their other games, they've scored 0, 2, 1, 3, and 1. So that's 13 runs through 5 games. They're not hitting, period. And I'm not going to get involved laying a price with a team that's not hitting, plain and simple. Even against Volquez. Volquez had a real shaky first outing. They hit him hard. He struggled with his command. He's always struggled with his walks, and that was very much a concern. It lasted just 4 innings. He has a bad track record against the Angels. He's got a bad track record against current Angels. And I'm still not laying it with Matt Harvey. Not a chance. LA, looks like Mike Trout and 8 guys standing around waving a bat right now. Until we see signs of the Angels producing on offense, I would only look at the surprising Texas Rangers winning again yesterday. Now 4-2 on the season. Little streaks, Angels are playing poorly. Rangers are playing a little bit better. And the team that's playing better is catching a price. I could only look at the dog in this one.
Ride the hot, fade the cold, Teddy. I like it. That's something I look for in MLB as well. Good breakdown there of the MLB card. We got NBA up next. 3-game slate for tonight. We got 5 p.m. Pacific tip between Milwaukee and Philadelphia. Looks like minus 4.5. Milwaukee laying on the road. 230.5 the total, Teddy.
Yeah, we're seeing this line move towards 5 as we speak, and there's been a lot of questions about who's going to play tonight for both of these teams. And frankly, as we talk right now, I don't know, and I don't think anybody knows. But the markets think they know. They think that Philly's sitting. Okay, these are the question marks. Jimmy Butler, who played last night, this is the second of back-to-backs for Philadelphia. Butler played last night. He's a question mark tonight. Embiid is a question mark tonight for Philly. For Milwaukee, looks like Giannis is going to play. Chris Middleton looks like he's going to play. Ilyasova is going to be back in the lineup for tonight. They still have a bunch of guys out. Mirotic, Brogdon, Gasol, DiVincenzo, Tony Snell's not going to play. But Milwaukee certainly deeper than just about any team in the Eastern Conference, this side of Toronto. So we have the Sixers on the second of back-to-backs. We have a Bucks team that still hasn't clinched home court in the number 1 seed in the East. And we have Philly potentially missing a couple of key guys. I can understand why the Bucks are road favorites here. Although the price, I was hoping I was going to see something short on Milwaukee today, and it wasn't there. So unfortunately couldn't get involved in this game. The price a good notch or two higher than I was hoping to pay. with the Bucks. But that obviously has to do with who's going to play and who's not going to play for Philadelphia, which is still, everything's questionable now. Nothing officially determined. This line has the potential to jump around big time when the actual lineups are announced pregame.
And Teddy, I mean, you know the NBA markets very, very well. What's the best way to find out, the game time lineups?
Twitter or watch the pregame?
So literally watching the pregame and seeing who's warming up, or there is no better...
No, it's not even who's warming up. There's guys that come out and warm up, and they're like, I'm not going to play. That happened the other night. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was somebody came out and warmed up. I was like, no, I'm not playing tonight. But Twitter, I mean, if you're following your NBA beat writers on Twitter, you'll have some, you'll get good info. Generally, at the within seconds of the markets getting it. Generally.
Okay, good stuff, man. Just off the, your opinion, is that more like warm up? I don't feel like playing, or do you think that that's more, hey, I might have a little small injury and I don't want to play?
I mean, the NBA season is a grind, and teams that are about to go in the playoffs know, guess what? The grind gets tougher starting next week. A lot tougher, a lot more physical. So, is there some? I mean, when it comes to playoff positioning, that's never been a motivator for a team. These guys are gassed. They're ready for a little bit of a break. So can I say unequivocally that, if someone comes out and warms up that, all right, well, I don't feel like playing tonight versus I'm not 100% versus it's the end of the season. It's all case-by-case basis. But the bottom line is I'm sure there are guys that are probably doing their team a proper service for sitting out a late regular season game, so they'll be a little bit fresher for the postseason.
I was just thinking that it's probably a good, it's smarter, especially if you get, securely in the playoffs, just to be at 100% when the playoffs start, whatever that takes. If it, 2 or 3 or 4 games off, have at it. That's how I would manage my team. Would you, Teddy?
Sure. Again, like I said, I mean, this whole I get the 3 seed, I'm playing for the 7 seed, or whatever, it's nonsense. The players don't play for that. They really don't. Sometimes the number 1 seed can be an ego thing, but I mean, it's not like Milwaukee's clinched yet in that regard. I'm sure they want it. I'm sure it's important to them. But if you ask anyone in the Bucks, what's more important? Winning 2 playoff series or being the number 1 seed? They'll say, give me the 2 series victories, get us into the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll take that over a number 1 seed any day of the week.
Absolutely, man. Well, we got 2 get-back games. The later night slate, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Cleveland, Sacramento up first, 229 the total. Looks like Sacramento, the Kings, laying 9.5 at home, Teddy.
Yeah, you want to lay this price with the Kings?
No.
Yeah, exactly. You want to take this price with the Cavs?
Maybe.
Look, when Cleveland made money for me, and right after the All-Star break, they came out and they had Kevin Love playing with passion, which was exceptional. And they had Matthew Dellavedova for like a couple of weeks. He came in and sparked that second unit because one of the big, I mean, when you talk about the lottery teams, the bottom of the lottery teams, their biggest issue a lot of times isn't necessarily starter versus starter. It's bench versus bench. And anytime the bench comes in, it's, oh boy, the other team goes on a run. And when they had Love playing well and Dellavedova playing well, they were a decent team. And when you have a bad team that's playing decent, you make money with them. Well, Dellavedova got hurt. Love's out tonight. They just got bombed in Phoenix. They're not playing a whole lot of defense. They give up a buck. Yeah, boy. I mean, their last 5, their numbers are really ugly. Let me look at get the stats on that because they're pretty much, the last 5, the Cavs defensively allowed 55% shooting. That's hard to do. I don't want Cleveland tonight either.
Well, don't have to take them, and even with the +9 mark, we can just move on to the next game. Golden State, LA Lakers, all California battle here in the last game on the docket, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. -13, the Warriors laying in Los Angeles, 228 the total, Teddy.
Yeah, break up the Lakers. You sit LeBron, all of a sudden the Lakers start winning some games, covering some point spread, which is to the surprise of absolutely nobody. They won they beat the New Orleans, they beat Charlotte, and then, of course, played OKC, a slumping OKC team, and got bombed in that game. Another team that you worry about the defensive effort at this stage of the season. Warriors still haven't clinched their home court advantage. Boy, they've looked good. the last couple of games, bombing Charlotte and then coming out with a big win over Denver, the game I was still kicking myself for not playing on Tuesday. But I didn't trust Golden State as chalk. I mean, it's hard. When you look at the Warriors post All-Star breaks, all right, well, where are the back-to-back wins and covers? Few and far between, man. I mean, really few and far between. But they've had a couple of 2-game winning cover streaks in the last 10. 3 good games for Golden State in a row. Really haven't seen it at any point since, like, I guess that week before the All-Star break. They played pretty good. So it's hard for me to lay this price with Golden State right now. You know, the markets are certainly pricing them accordingly as the best team in the NBA, which they are, which they will be. They continue to be the team to beat. But their switch doesn't necessarily get flipped on until next week. If you're taking the Lakers, again, it's that leap of faith. All right, well, the favorite's not going to kill us. Maybe we can hang around in this one. LA, you know, a little bit better than Cleveland defensively of late. Obviously, without LeBron, without so many key guys, you know, some ample minutes. But one thing that's, I think, maybe a little bit underlooked in what the Warriors have done the last couple games, boy, that defense has been really good, and that may be a problem for a team like LA that, you know, offensive efficiency, not their mainstay. I kind of lean under in this one, 228, the current total.
All right, Teddy, great stuff as always, both MLB and NBA. Good podcast. You got your first MLB release of 2019 up at sportsmemo.com. And guys out there listening to the podcast, get the special coupon code TEDDYHALF at checkout for half off of that at sportsmemo.com, his first MLB release. He's also got his 7-day all-access pass, 30-day, 90-day, 1-year all-access pass, all available at sportsmemo.com. Teddy, anything else you want to throw out before we shut this down?
I just wanted to say thanks for listening. Thanks for spending part of your Thursday with Drew and I here in the Sports Memo podcast. Best of luck today. Enjoy the games and cash some tickets. Hey, I won my first and my second bet in MLB last year. Gosh darn it. I expect to do it again tonight.
Best of luck, Teddy. I hope you do, and best of luck to everyone out there. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with Robbie Vino breaking down the Final Four.